You check your phone. Again, not because you're expecting anything important, but because the silence between you and yourself has become unbearable. You fill every moment with noise, with movement, with anything that keeps you from sitting alone with who you really are. But here's what Carl Jung discovered that will change everything. You're not running from the world. You're running from yourself. And that running is killing the very thing you're trying to protect. Today, you'll learn why the person you've been avoiding is the only person who can save you. And more importantly, how to finally stop running and start becoming whole. Let's begin. Picture this. You wake up, and immediately your day becomes a marathon of avoidance. Work keeps you busy. Netflix keeps you distracted. Social media keeps you connected to everyone except yourself. You've become an expert at staying busy because somewhere along the way, you learned that stillness equals danger. Jung called this the shadow. Not because it's evil, but because it's the part of you that you've been taught to hide, even from yourself. Think about it. When was the last time you sat in complete silence without reaching for something? Without checking, scrolling, buying, eating, or calling someone? That panic you feel at the thought of true stillness? That's not boredom. That's terror. Terror of meeting the parts of yourself you've been running from for years. The child who was told they were too much. The teenager who learned that feelings were weakness. The adult who discovered that authenticity meant rejection. So you created a life of beautiful distractions. But Jung knew something most people never realize. Every step you take away from yourself is a step toward a life that isn't yours. You think you're protecting yourself by staying busy, but you're actually abandoning yourself. And that abandonment creates a hunger that no amount of external pleasure can ever fill. The shadow isn't your enemy. It's your exile. Every part of you that you've rejected, your anger, your sadness, your needs, your dreams that seem too big, they're all still there waiting. Not to destroy you, but to complete you. Here's what no one tells you about running from yourself. It doesn't just hurt you. It poisons everything you touch. When you can't face your own pain, you become unable to hold space for anyone else's. When you can't accept your own flaws, you become hypercritical of others. When you can't love your own darkness, you demand that others be light. Jung observed this in his patients over and over. The man who couldn't acknowledge his own insecurity became controlling in relationships. The woman who couldn't face her own sadness became obsessed with fixing everyone else's problems. You cannot give what you do not have. You cannot love what you refuse to see. This is why your relationships feel shallow. Why success feels empty. Why even your happiest moments carry a strange ache. Because you're living half a life, using only the parts of yourself you've deemed acceptable, while the rest of you waits in exile. And that exiled self? It doesn't just disappear. It shows up as the addiction you can't explain, the rage that comes from nowhere, the depression that has no reason, the anxiety that won't let you rest, the emptiness that no achievement can fill. Your shadow isn't trying to ruin your life. It's trying to save it. Every symptom, every breakdown, every moment when your carefully constructed persona cracks, that's not failure. That's your wholeness trying to emerge. But integration requires courage. The courage to stop running, to turn around, to face the parts of yourself you've been taught to fear. So how do you stop running? How do you finally come home to yourself? Jung's path isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming complete. First, notice when you're running. The next time you feel that compulsion to check your phone, to stay busy, to avoid silence, pause. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding feeling right now? Don't fix it. Don't judge it. Just notice it. Second, dialogue with your shadow. Jung taught his patients to literally speak with the parts of themselves they'd rejected. When you feel angry, don't push it down. Ask it. What are you trying to tell me? When you feel scared, don't run. Sit with it. What are you trying to protect? Your emotions aren't enemies to defeat. They're messengers carrying information about what you need. Third, embrace the paradox. You are both light and dark, strong and vulnerable, wise and foolish. The goal isn't to choose one side, it's to integrate both. Jung called this holding the tension of the opposites. You don't resolve the paradox. You become it. Finally, make friends with your pain. Your pain isn't a mistake. It's not a flaw in your design. It's information. It's medicine. It's the very thing that will make you wise enough to help others and strong enough to love deeply. Here's what Jung promised, and what I promise you. When you stop running from yourself, you stop needing to run from life. When you can face your own darkness, you become unafraid of other people's. When you integrate your shadow, you don't become perfect, you become powerful, unshakable, real. You become someone who can sit in any room, with any person, in any silence, and feel at home. Because you finally learned the greatest truth of all. You are not broken. You are not too much. You are not a problem to be solved. You are a mystery to be lived, a wholeness to be discovered, a self to be loved. The running stops here. The integration begins now. The journey home to yourself is the only journey that matters, and you've been ready for it longer than you know.